how would you like to hear a tactic or a strategy that can help you procrastinate less this morning?
Yes.
Excellent. This information is not superfluous. It comes from reputable sources like the American Psychological Association, the Association of Psychological Sciences, the Association of Natural Psychology, and the International Association of Applied Psychology, Brian Tracy, a few others, and one opinion from our esteemed colleague Ron Martin that I think it really made sense to me. So these were the contributors to the information. The information I'm going to share with you is divided into three parts. Why do we procrastinate? What is procrastination, and how can we beat it? What can we do to get better at it? So the theme is the anatomy of procrastination, and the goal of knowing the anatomy is to understand the roots of procrastination so it can help us do three things. Turn a bad habit into a good habit, make us more productive, and ultimately make us stronger persons. My question to you is, are you with me? So the first area is, why do we procrastinate? There are a lot of reasons we throw out there why we don't do things, and they had been categorized by the Psychological Association into 5 categories. The first category is skill deficiency, and that is either you don't understand the task or it's too much to accomplish. The other is external obstacles. Maybe your office is right where the front door opens up and you get interrupted all the time, or your office at home is in the kitchen, or perhaps it's an illness. Self-sabotage, which I fall under that category. I'm a perfectionist and I can never seem to get anything done because it's not good enough. Or I don't want to be told that my report wasn't good enough, so I'll leave it till the end so I can say, well, I only had 2 days to do it, so I think it's pretty damn good. Impulsive behavior, or fear of failure, or anger because somebody assigned something to you didn't really want to do or think it was appropriate, so you procrastinate. Passive-aggressive behavior, or the typical response, I work best under pressure. Those are the people that fall under this category. Addictive escapism, those are the people that are looking at three-legged cats for 2 hours, or they take a dive into Google Maps into Paris and they spend 3 hours looking at all the city streets. And then, it's too late to do that work. Unrecognized truth, the people that don't have passion or purpose, they seem apathetic, they have a low self-esteem, and maybe even be perceived as lazy. It turns out that there is an argument in our head. Neurophysiologists and neuropsychologists have determined that the frontal cortex, the purple part of the brain, the front part of the brain, has an argument with something called the limbic system. It's a primitive part of our brain, and the boss of this system is this cute little organ called the amygdala. The amygdala handles our fear, anxiety, and stress, and it moves us away from that. So getting these projects done can produce any one of those, so the amygdala always wins. You get to do the fun stuff. The only thing that trumps this is a crisis, or the panic button. That day before your project is due is what trumps this. However, there are 2 kinds of procrastinations. One that has a due date and one that doesn't, like going to the gym. That really doesn't have a panic button, and you could procrastinate for a long time. So, what is procrastination? It's simply not doing what you should be doing, and it has a very recognizable cycle. Let's take a bunch of students from college that get the announcement they have a 30-page paper due in 30 days. The first day they say, oh yeah, no problem, I got plenty of time. Week goes by, you say, I should really get started on that paper. A week has gone by already, but no, I still have plenty of time. Nah. 2 weeks go by, and you say, I should get started with that paper, but I'm doing so many other things, I really don't have the time. 3 weeks go by. You go, got a week left, I don't need sleep, I'll do it later. And then crisis hits 2 days before your paper's due. And you get started, you tell yourself, I'm never going to do this again. And guess what? The next project, you do the exact same thing. And this is where Ron's comment really hit home, is that in the example where you don't have a due date, let's say you work out Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. The first workout day on Monday, you tuck yourself out of it. By Wednesday, it's going to be even easier to tuck yourself out of going to the gym. And by Friday, probably a few minutes of thought, and then you go, yeah, I'll do it next week. And it could be months before you go back because there is no due date. There's no panic button. The amygdala takes over. There was a study done that looked at students and what they do in those last 2 days to get the paper done. 70% of that time went into Facebook or other wasteful energy. 20% of the time went into, oh my God, I'm going to fail. What am I going to do? And only 10% of the time was put into the real work. Pretty amazing. Procrastination comes at a price. It makes you feel like this: lousy, anxiety, anxious. You feel helpless. You feel mad at yourself. So the question is, what can you do to stop procrastinating, or at least improve your procrastination? And this is where I found this information really useful for myself as well. The first thing is, there is an article they wrote that we really are not procrastinators. The problem is we don't have purpose or passion. Because if I told you, be here at 3:33 a.m. next Friday, I'm going to give you $3 million, I think most of you would show up. So find your purpose and passion, and some of this may get better. There was another study done on very successful people, and they were all asked, hey, do you use to-do lists? And they all laughed and said, no. A to-do list is a not to-do list. If you want something done, schedule it. If you want something done, schedule it. Because the moment you schedule it, you have a 50% chance of getting it done just by scheduling it. The other papers that I read had to do with saying no. Because the moment you say yes to something, you're automatically saying no to something else. Because you only have so much time. And I'm guilty of that. I have way too many things to do, and it buys into my time. This is the star of the show this morning, the 2190 rule. A lot of articles on this, and it says that it takes 21 days of doing the same thing before you create a habit. And if you keep it going for 90 days, you create a lifestyle. So I challenge you, why not start today? What are the steps in the 2190 rule? There are 7. The very first one is you need to make a decision of what are you going to do? What is it that you have in mind? Is it working out at the gym and you want to get up at 5 o'clock? Then make that your target. The next thing you should do is no exceptions. For 21 days, you get up every day at 5 o'clock and you go work out. You tell everybody, this is what I'm doing, so they can keep you accountable. You visualize your new habit, and you use affirmation, because it turns out when you say, you imagine you're getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning and working out, and you tell yourself, I'm going to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go work out. The brain thinks you've done it before, and it's easier to accomplish it the following day. If you feel like you want to desist, resist. The moment you give in, you have to start all over again. So keep it going. And when you accomplish it, reward yourself. So, in summary, you want to practice something called metacognition, which is being aware that you're aware that you might procrastinate. Be aware of the root problem. And when you understand the root of procrastination, it's going to help you turn a bad habit into a new habit, make you extremely productive, and make you a stronger person. Fellow Toastmasters, I challenge you to become a success story. Mr. Toastmaster.